it's Debi Derryberry, the voice of Jimmy Neutron and Dracula and lots of other cartoon characters, and you are watching Tuned In with fabulous Jim Cummings.
Hey everybody, Jim Cummings here, and if Tigger were here, he'd say, thanks everybody for bouncing on in here and enjoying the show. But before we go, I want you to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Now, speaking of enjoying the show, enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tuned In with Jim Cummings. I'm producer Chris, joined as always by Brenda Dando. Jim Cummings, how are you doing today?
We are back in the saddle again, and I'm very excited today.
And today we have a very special guest.
Why, look, there she is now. She is truly, she's a young person, but one of my oldest friends in the business, none other than the actual live and kicking in the pink, Debi Derryberry.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much. That sounds just like the voice you used when you announced one of my Baby Banana promo videos that you did. Thank you. It's so nice to be here. Oh. Hi, everybody. It's me, Debi Derryberry. I'm really glad to be here.
What she said. Yeah. Yes, and we are glad to have you.
Thank you, my darling.
This is very good. I've, for over a year now, I've been harassing a lot of our mutual friends and forcing them to do this, by various means of extortion. And I'm so glad to have you here because I didn't even have to extort you.
Well, it's near the house, so I didn't have to drive very far, which is a big plus. And I'm in town.
Oh, that's true.
And it's true. You are one of my longest friends. I have known you since I started in this business 30 plus years ago.
Yeah. What you said.
Mm-hmm. It's been a day or a minute.
Well, always remember, I'll always be much older than you. So see, you got that going for you.
Not much, Jimmy.
No,
not much.
I think so. Sure.
Well, we're not going to say.
We're just really glad you're here, though.
Thank you.
Golly, I was thinking about it. I wrote, as usual, I did got my copious notes here.
It's so smart to have notes. I wish more people had notes.
Oh, I agree.
These people that can just fly off the handle and say things and have word retrieval skills. It's like me as a voice artist. If it's not written down, I can't be clever.
Yeah.
How do you think of that stuff to say? It's on the paper.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank God for that.
Right.
We like it when people put words in our mouth.
We do.
And we've been trading words for a good long time.
We have. And music.
And music. But oh boy, are you guys in for a treat.
Woo!
We were in a band called the
Tasmaniacs. That's right.
Can you guess the connection? Yes. It was. Yes.
Yep.
Debbie was my little brother.
I played Jake to the famous, most wonderful Tasmanian devil big brother.
Taz-like.
You're the best big brother in the whole wide world.
That's right. I've had so many, little brothers and uncles, and so many of them were women.
Well, we don't hit puberty. We can still be them.
Well, okay. I'm biting my tongue. But that's good. I am so glad you're here. And I was trying to think, what might have been the first show that we worked on together?
Oh, golly.
Would it have been a Curious George, perhaps?
No. Did you ever do Peter Pan and the Pirates with Tim Curry? Did you do any of those?
I looked up the credits. I couldn't find Jim in that one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What about... Oh, I know. What a Mess. Did you do What a Mess? I think we did. No,
I don't think so.
Well, there was Tasmania.
Anything else I didn't do?
Let me see. Let me just look at this list.
No, I think I might have done a What a Mess.
Well, definitely.
We should show everybody
Curious
that.
George. Okay.
Anyway, see,
Here.
look how cool is that? Those are all Debbie.
Well, not all of them, but a good many.
Well, the one in the sweater and the blue is you.
Yeah, that's me.
She's definitely you.
Definitely me.
Oh, was it the Addams Family? The
Addams Family.
Oh, I wasn't getting away with that. I was bringing that up.
Coming.
Don't you worry.
I don't know what was the first.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so many that we do that it just... people come to my table when I'm at conventions and they'll say, do you remember episode 4 of Yakety Schmacky that you did in 1994? And I'm like, do you remember what you had for lunch yesterday?
Yeah.
It's kind of a blur. It's a fun, fabulous, wonderful blur.
But a blur.
A blur.
But a blur.
Because...
That's true.
Who
It
can
is so
remember them
true.
all?
I can't.
I can't.
I mean, but that's good.
Did you
And
do some Jimmy
enjoy the
Neutrons?
view. I'm sure I did. Oh,
I'm
yes,
sure
I
you-
did.
yes.
I was Overlord.
Oh.
Overlord.
Okay, you see there?
That guy. He was extra cool.
And sometimes we do shows together and we come in at different times, so we don't
Yeah.
really know we did the show together, but we did.
That's true. That's true.
But
Boy,
being
look
in the
at
band
this.
with you, man.
Let's talk about the Addams family.
Okay.
Jimmy, you were
Let's do.
Lurch.
Ba-da-da-dum. Okay, we had to get that out of our system, or mine.
We had an amazing cast. Like the
Yeah.
original John Aston Gomez was in
Yes.
that, right?
Yes. God
And
bless
Carol
him.
Channing with her noisy
Carol
tops
Channing, yes.
and her tea.
And
You
with
have
her
to tell them about that.
The teeth and the tops. Well, she.
You know, she always had a thermos full of hot tea
Oh.
and
thought you
and
said
teeth.
teeth.
And teeth too. And,
Yes.
and she had shirts that were noisy. Like when I teach voiceover,
Yeah.
one of the chapters is on what not to wear.
Don't wear a tambourine.
And don't wear like silk or a tracksuit because it goes. Shh, shh, shh. She had some noisy shirts, but she could
Yes.
sit still, though, to her credit.
Yes, and she had like 5 pounds of bracelets on each.
Yes, jingle jangle, jingle jangle.
And I brought this up before, but I want to say it was a Chippendale, but she was doing. She and it was because I was Monterey Jack at the time, and we were doing a takeoff on the African Queen with Humphrey Bogart and Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
And she was, I guess, Audrey Hepburn, and I was Humphrey Bogart, and she was doing this, and she was going all over the place, and the engineer asked her, "I'm sorry, Miss Jenny, you can't really move because we're picking up a lot of that. It was very, very
Bracelets.
starched." And
Yes.
so she just stood up and took off her top.
Took off her top.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she was wearing a brassiere. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And but we all were still kind of going like this the whole time. Oh, this is marvelous. It's wonderful. Now I can move. That's not a bad Carol Channing, by the way.
That was really a good one,
Not
Jim.
bad.
Jim
Thank
is
you.
quite the impersonator, you
Oh.
guys. He can do them.
I impersonate people with talent. And
What, can you do
that's
me?
the best way to do it.
Can you impersonate me?
Oh, I thought, I was
That's what I
thinking,
meant.
but wait,
That's what I
I'm married.
You're married?
And so are you.
I am married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Where is he?
Ian is at home.
Oh,
yes,
fine.
He's at home on.
Playing his bass very well, by the way. Did we mention that? I think so.
Oh, he plays a mean bass.
But I can't remember what we were talking about now, but it had something to do with a cartoon. How about that?
It had,
Do Debbie.
yes.
Right? Isn't that I'm right, Christopher? It had something.
First,
No,
we're
it
going
was
to do
something
Debbie.
that we did.
First, we're gonna do Debbie. Yes,
That's right.
you're gonna imitate Debbie.
Oh, sure. I'm going to imitate Debbie, but I don't think I sounded pink enough.
No, you and Danny Man try, but
Ooh,
you can do it. You can do it.
I could probably do that a little easier.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy.
Let's touch on Wednesday, because you've said Wednesday was a real struggle for you because your voice is so high, but she's very subdued.
That is one of those characters, sort of like I did this other cartoon with Howie Mandel called Bobby's World. Mm-hmm. And yes.
I always
and
got him confused
Jenny
with
McSwain
Elmo.
was always like, less, Debbie. Give me less. And that's how Wednesday was. Gordon was always like, just less for Wednesday. I was like, but I'm not really doing anything. That's it. But I'm not doing anything at all, really.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's hard, though, not to be amped and up, at least for me when I'm on the mic. So I call it my Valium voice. That's what Jenny McSwain used to call it, the Valium, voice. Yeah.
Well, she had colorful direction.
So when I had Jackie on Bobby's World, she was down here with long braids, and she also had a penchant for low energy.
A pension?
Penchant.
Oh, okay.
Penchant, right. Oh, right, my mic. But who else was
Very
in that
cool.
cast? We had
Jeannie Elias.
right, the fabulous Jeannie Elias as
Pat
Pugsley.
Fraley was Cousin
Yeah.
It. Does everybody remember Cousin It? Say yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and Rob Paulson played
Yes.
the.
Played somebody that sounded like that.
Yeah, that was Jimmy Neutron, maybe.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, okay. Sorry,
Oh,
Rob.
and then we had Dick Beals.
Yes.
Dick Beals played the kid next door. Trivia.
Cool dude.
You know, Dick Beals did the original Speedy Alka-Seltzer,
Which was a ancient cure.
right? And then they decided to bring Speedy Alka-Seltzer back which I got cast as Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Wow.
He's down here in the corner. I don't know if you can see that guy right there.
Look him up.
It didn't live a long time on the commercials, but that was fun following in Dick Beale's
especially
footsteps.
if you drop him in water.
Did you mention
will not
Rip
live
Taylor?
a long time.
Rip Taylor!
Rip Taylor.
Was he fun?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had so much fun in
And
that
Jonathan
show.
Winters.
He wasn't in it, but he was down the hall. Remember that one time we were recording and someone said, Jonathan Winters is down the hall. And we were like, ah! If you guys don't know who Jonathan Winters is, just go Google him and you will see the person who could like live in another personality just like that and make up a whole world of another person.
And he is basically responsible for Robin Williams.
Yep.
He's the inspiration for Robin Williams. And when you see Jonathan, you'll go, oh, yeah.
Yep, that's what Robin was doing. But if you remember, they told us he was down the hall. He was sitting at Gordon's desk. Gordon Hunt was our director.
Gordon Hunt, by the way.
And we all ran down the hall because whenever they tell you don't do something, we can do it. And ran down the hall to see Jonathan Winters. I mean, how often do you get to see Jonathan Winters?
Living legend.
And we said, hi, Jonathan. And he went, I'm not Jonathan or something. He went into one of his diatribes.
He went into, my name is Philip Smithers, and I'm a
car salesman from Wisconsin.
From Secaucus or somewhere. Yeah, he was. I'm so sick of that bastard Jonathan Winters. Apparently, he's a good-looking son of a gun, and he looks just like me. Oh, lucky me! Lucky me. I get to walk somewhere, and you know what I really hate? When that bastard's on Ed Sullivan, because then the next day, oh my God, I can't go to the Woolsworth.
Yeah, he went on just like that.
On and on.
It was crazy.
Yeah. And he's telling us the story about this guy that he met in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And he goes on and on and on, and the guy said, oh, you know, I can't imagine. I mean, that must be hell to look this much like a celebrity. I mean, you must get that all the time. Listen, allow me to apologize. I'm intruding on you. You're a car salesman from Secaucus or wherever, and here I am doing this. Anyway, I got to let you go. And he walks away, and Jonathan goes, wait, you don't even want my autograph after all that shit? And then he copped to it, and then he gave him his autograph.
It was crazy.
The
they were like, get back into the booth, Debbie and Jim.
Yeah.
We're recording today.
Yeah.
But wait, we get to see movie stars.
Yeah. Yes. The Small World movie star. That was one of my favorite movies of his.
Yeah.
Everybody's going, what? Anyway, yes, I'm older. It's okay. I
But that was a fun show. We had a lot of fun recordings. We had a table read, and then we'd go in and record it. Mm-hmm. And did Dana Hill do any guests on that show?
Yeah, I think she did some guests on every show.
Our little Dana.
God bless our dear friend. She's no longer with us, Dana Hill.
Yeah. Man, there's people who aren't with us anymore. Yeah, sorry. And Christmas vacation or summer vacation, something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, that was a super fun show, Brendan. We had a good people, and that was like one of the last shows that they actually made cells for, like official animation cells. Because after that, they just printed on a laser printer, and that's what you got. But our actual cells, I know Bobby's World, we had the cells, and that show, we had them. It was very cool.
Yeah. Do you have any interesting Howie Mandel stories?
I
always do that.
Let's see.
Sounds like Elmo. Sorry.
Well,
take that back.
You know, they told me don't try and shake his hand. Don't try and touch him. So I didn't. I was just pretty much afraid of him the whole time because I didn't want to get in trouble. But at that time, when we were recording Bobby's World, you know I'm a scuba diver. I've been a scuba diver for decades. And at that time, I am still the size of a 12-year-old boy, but I was at that time the size of a 12-year-old boy. And they were looking for someone to replace, to be the body stunt double for the kid in this movie called Free Willy. So
Jason Richter.
And they enjoyed it in England.
Yes, they enjoyed it in England. Free Willy. So I went to Warner Brothers and met them, and they said, okay, you can ride the whale for Jason, and flew me down to Mexico City. They tied on some hair that would hold up in the salt water, and I spent 7 weeks on the back of that whale for that movie, because they're not going to have a 12-year-old boy ride the whale, because there's things that could happen. And, there was this trick where he drowns and the whale comes and rescues him from 18 feet under in a 55-degree pool, and they needed an official scuba diver. So during that show, they'd be like, well, we're recording at Bobby's World. So I got on the plane a couple times and came back up to L.A. to record Bobby's World and then headed back to Mexico City.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you said Howie loved the improvisation in the studio as much as the directors hated it.
He wanted everybody to do it, and the producers, remember Gary Conrad? The producers were all, it's hard for editors and engineers to separate everybody. But you put a bunch of voice actors in the studio and put headphones on them, and they all go to town, and we love to hear ourselves talk, and so we talk. And talk.
Yes, we do.
And when one of them's Pat Fraley and one of them's Rob Paulson, forget it.
Yeah, there's going to be...
It was a Rob and Pat show.
Yes, there's going to be a lot shaking. That's time when I just lay in the corner and go, wake me up with my line.
And they'd say, okay, give us one as written. But Howie really loved it when we could just say whatever we wanted. But you guys are funny.
Oh.
I'm just like the straight man, I just do as written.
Well, that's
Every
good.
funny man needs a straight man to bounce off.
Yeah, you need this. I feel very important. I provide that
should.
service. I am the
you
straight
are.
man for you and your funnies.
There you go.
Yep.
I feel very important because you're importantly feeling important. and that's
you.
important.
I appreciate that.
That's very
But yeah, all you funny people, I just sit there and watch you and I'm amazed. You and Rob and
Pull the
Pat
string.
and Howie and you guys just
Well, I don't know about Pat. I'm just kidding. See, that's
just funny.
More funny comedy humor. Free jokes.
I know most of the people we've talked to on this show have said that they don't really get to record as like a group or an ensemble anymore. Is that the same story for you as well?
Yeah. Well, I think it is kind of coming back a little bit, but not fully. And also, times are changing. They are changing. I'll tell you. It used to be they'd say, Debbie, go in. They need a 7-year-old girl. They need a 5-year-old boy. And I go on in. And now they really bring in a 7-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. And then the show gets picked up and they have to recast it because the kids are already 13.
Yes.
If they would just do it like they used to and let me do all the kid voices, I think
Yes.
it'd be a better place
I know.
for all of us, right?
Well, I've said before, we always had Winnie the Pooh had about 7 or 8, 9 iterations, and would always get a fresh boy. And
Fresh boy because they hit puberty.
Well, gee, Pooh, I have to go down to the 100-acre wood. All right, next call Central Casting. We need a fresh Christopher Robin. So yeah.
But boy, I would love to record all together again. Like when we did this show called F is for Family with Bill Burr. They let me play a lot of characters in that show. I got to play his daughter Maureen. And,
Yes. What about
Kitty.
Philip?
I played Kitty with the dapper. And then Philip, I told Rob flat out, I said, I'm stealing Carl for Philip.
There you go.
And I did Philip, but he had braces, and Carl didn't really have
Good.
braces. And then Bridget, who has the mouth of a sailor, and I'm sure there's kids watching this, so I won't say what she says, but you can just beat your dad's head over it with something foul and awful. She says really bad things. But it's so fun.
What about Beatrice? Who
The
else?
nurse. I did play Beatrice, the nurse from Wisconsin. She's like, which kid did you almost kill this time? And then I played Gert, Laura Dern, in college. Well, she's the mom, but they do flashbacks of her in college. And her friend was Gert, who had, those cat-eye glasses. I played her. And then I got to stunt read because they could never get Alice and Janney in. So I stunt read Alice and Janney's line as the Tupperware executive. And as I read it, I said, I think it's out in the garage. And,
that's wonderful.
And so when I actually heard Alice and Janney read it, they had to read it that way. Thanks, Allison. I gave you that line read.
Gave her that's a full-blown character.
Totally. Yeah.
So
Fun stunt reading in.
Well, I've whenever people will talk to me and they say, well, you do this voice and you do that voice, voices. And I go, yeah, but I prefer to think of them as characters And that the voice part is just what they sound like when they talk. Mm-hmm. You know, it's called character voices.
They are characters.
And,
like when you listen to something that you've been on, like when I listen, doesn't it just always sound like you? I mean, you're doing a character, but
I think that only.
Right? Me too. I'm listening to it and I'm going, well, that's me, and that's me again. That's me again.
God, that's just me. No, now I'm singing. Yeah, and it's that was me singing. And,
he's quite a singer, by the way. This Jim man,
but not a dancer.
Boy, can he sing! You can dance with your hands though on the drums.
Well, that's true.
You know, I still have the drumsticks you gave me.
Good.
You signed them. You gave them to me. They're up, and I don't collect anything. Everything in my house or anyone gives me anything, it's out. I don't want anything ever.
Well, there's only 2 of them, so it's not too bad.
2 friends, right? Two things, 2 sticks. True. They don't take up a lot of room. Anyway, I still have them because they mean a lot to me.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I used to at the end of every show. I would go around at the final recording, and because I would sit there all year or years and annoy people with my sticks, you know, and so I figured the least I could do is give them all a complimentary. Here's your free drumsticks. Now you can annoy the next session that you go to.
Yep.
So
sometimes I take them and hit the microphone. People love that.
Is this on?
They love that.
The engineer is really Yes. And did we? I'm older, of course, but did we cover when you started? Because I think we're kind of concurrent. I was. You were but a little lass.
Yes, I must have been.
And I was in the mid-'80s.
Maybe late 80s, because I remember I had finished college in 83 and then went to Nashville for a few years, got married, divorced, and then came out here like 87, 88, something like that. And then Jenny McSwain sent me over to Jeff Danis, and I just started working right away, and it just never stopped, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Good old Jeff.
Well, knock on
Man, it's
formaldehyde for you.
I'm glad I didn't go to med school.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much.
Well,
and really, who was going to believe me? I'm going to take out your appendix now.
I'm looking right here, and it says that you were a graduate of UCLA, and you were in pre-med.
I was a pre-med graduate, so I took
I read
biochem
that and I was
and
like,
OChem,
how did I not know this?
Physics 1, 2, 3, calculus 1, 2, 3. I took the hardest classes. I worked so hard, Jimmy. And I graduated and I thought, okay, it's time to apply to med school. And I did. And then in my spare time, I was in the stairwell playing guitar and singing, or on the streets of Westwood with my guitar busking. That's all I wanted to do, was sing and play guitar and do harmonies. So that's what I did. And I think the good thing about all those high-level upper division chemistry courses was that when I booked Jimmy Neutron, I knew how to say all those words. All the chemical compounds, it came rushing back to me.
Oh, that's hysterical. See, not many of us can say that. Okay, you're the only one. You're the only one.
I'm the only one. No, we have a couple of lawyers gone rogue in our world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Laura Jane Miller.
Oh.
She was an attorney, and Sunny Lou. She's an attorney. Yeah, there's some smarties in there, but then they were like, all I want to do is voiceover and act.
Well, I used to sell pots and pans door to door.
You did?
Sort of
in
like
Chicago?
An attorney.
Detroit?
No, God, no. No, in New Orleans.
Okay.
But no, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
It was a good one.
It was true, by the way. So,
yeah, no, UCLA was really great, and I don't remember a thing. Another blur. And I couldn't make it from. I did art stuff like acting in North Campus, but then all the heavy science stuff was in South Campus, and you can't tell I'm sitting down, but I'm only 4'10" and a half, and I couldn't get there in time. Like, my stride is just not that fast, so I wore roller skates 8 hours a day at UCLA for 4 years. I skated all over that campus. I could just run up Bruin Walk and down. I could do cartwheels. I could cartwheel into the splits. I was quite the roller skater.
Wow.
Now I'm just afraid I'll break, so I'm not allowed to roller skate anymore.
That. I'm not qualified to watch it.
Breaking is no fun at our age.
No, or break,
At any age, really. No one wants to break.
Yeah, breaks are no fun.
Breaks are broke.
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you break something?
My knee.
Oh, breaking your knee. That's worse.
Yeah.
What was that? Basketball?
Football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ACL, MCL, meniscus, all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
drag. They just rebuild the whole thing?
I screamed harder than I've ever screamed in my life.
It's the worst pain ever, isn't it?
It wasn't even the pain that I screamed from. It was the shock, like of feeling your knee literally bend backwards. And I was like, oh no. And it just kept going.
Oh,
and then that feeling lingers. One of the things that stayed with me after surgery was like when you swing your leg, it feels like it's just going to keep swinging past like where you're...
Until those tendons grab on.
But even after surgery, it's like psychological, you know? And it's like, oh no.
How long ago was that?
About
4
or 5 years ago?
It was right before the pandemic. Yeah.
Well, hopefully
2019,
now
5 years ago.
you will have like a good knee till you're about 60, and then you'll get new ones.
You know what the doctor said to me too? Wow. He was like, I tightened up your knee a little more so it'll last longer.
Oh, that's
I was like,
nice.
I don't think that's how bodies work. I don't think you just go in and like tighten muscles and tendons and like, don't worry, it'll last longer now.
I mean,
got a Phillips head screw on the side here to a little tighten. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, like...
Anyway, well, don't go roller skating. You can't risk the breaking of that knee.
No.
Plus, you weigh over 100 pounds, and that's a lot of weight to come tumbling down.
I do.
He does weigh over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Wait, I have to ask you this since you brought up height.
100, 410.
Do you have
32B.
Do you do the placard?
I know.
Do you have the handicap placard?
Don't have the handicap placard.
Because I remember,
I'd like to have one.
I went to school with this girl who's 4'10", and she was so excited on her 18th birthday to get the handicap placard because she was like, it's a privilege.
Gosh.
If you're under 5 feet, then you can get it.
I wish I had known that. Oh my gosh. I remember when I was pregnant, really pregnant, and we would pull up to like Disney or something, and you have to park pretty far.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, can't I get the placard so I could park closer so I don't have to do the waddle?
Could have had it.
So you and River didn't have to...
Yeah, he's 23 now. My boy is 23. You remember me pregnant.
Yes, I do.
We
I
go
do
back.
indeed.
We go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're short.
I remember him not even being here.
Huh?
Because he wasn't born.
Right. You remember him not even being here.
Yeah. And now he's borned up something fierce.
He is. He finished college, got his computer science degree.
Oh, that's...
Hi, Rev, if you're watching it, you're my boy.
That's
Proud
right.
of you.
And, you know, you have to say his whole name because
yes.
Get ready for the coolest name on the block.
His name is River Jordan. Yes, it is.
How about that?
His dad was a Jordan, and I thought, well, we don't have a choice. We're going to name it River, boy or girl. Yes.
That's right. Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
had to do it.
Girl would...
His parents were old school, and as we were wheeling him out of the delivery room, the grandparents, the proud grandparents of their only grandson, what's his name? River Jordan. And so we just turned before we could see the look on their face because, you know, they didn't know River was a popular name. It's a popular name now.
Well, they were hoping for Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
And so you can understand their dismay. Surely
Mississippi Jordan? No,
Mississippi Jordan. But then he wasn't a miss or a missus.
Right. So we dodged a bullet there. Dodged a bullet.
Oh, Lord. Don't try this at home, folks.
No.
But
so yeah, UCLA, man.
Yeah.
Roller skate.
Then you got the gig as Skeeter on Hey Vern, it's Ernest.
Yes, one of my boyfriends at the time that I met at the country bar said, move to Nashville, Deb. So I did. And
it's a place you ought to be.
Place you ought to be. So I loaded up my car and I moved from Beverly. I was actually working in Beverly Hills at the time, in real estate. Had my real estate license 3 times. So I was in Nashville doing a show at Tennessee Rep called To Kill a Mockingbird, playing Scout, the 12-year-old at 27 years old.
I remember. I know where this is going.
Yep.
Yeah. And you had bib overalls.
I did. Yes.
Told you I remember.
And I played the sister of Jem, who was played by Patrick Day, who is now in Los Angeles and runs a great kids acting academy. And somebody saw me as Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird and said, let's put her in this TV show we're doing with Jim Varney, which was like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And they made me the boy clown. So I got dressed up in a clown like a bozo outfit. And I played Skeeter. You're right, Dad. Oh no, that's a different. That's the Duracell boy.
That's
the Duracell battery boy.
God.
That was another 12-year-old boy campaign.
God, I hope we can edit that out. What an embarrassing thing. Go ahead.
No, it was like it was this boy clown, and his dad and him were clowns, and his mom and his sister were normal. And we did a number of episodes. I got into Screen Actors Guild. I got to quit waiting tables at Dalt's restaurant in Nashville, and I was in SAG. And so I thought, well, now I can afford to move back to Los Angeles and do voice work.
Yeah.
I didn't know what voice work was then until somebody said, well, now that you did this part on Hey Vern, It's Ernest, would you like to do body double work for some of the boys on one of Jim's movies called Ernest Goes to Camp? So I said, sure, $60 a day there is better than $60 a day waiting tables. So
you were making big bucks right away.
I did, right away. And they needed me to stand in for Scotty Menville, who was 10 years old at the time. And Scotty Menville is another one of us voice actors that we love so much.
That explains the notation that I got about you from... Yes. It's all coming
together now. So Scotty's mom, Dottie, said, Debbie, why don't you do cartoons or voice work? Scotty does it. And I'm like, what is that? I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, what is that?
So she gave me some names. I contacted them. Ginny McSwain wrote me back from Marvel. She said, great voice. You really need to live in L.A. So got divorced, moved back home.
Well, that was the only logical...
Kept the Derryberry name.
Yes, obviously.
What are you going to do? So
that's a showbiz name, I think. Debi Derryberry.
Yeah. I mean, I like Debbie Greenberg, my born name, but my first married name, Derryberry, that
just rolls off the...
Sounds like a cartoon.
And it sounds showbizy.
Kind of, it does.
I think so.
People think I made it up. I didn't make it up. Anyway, that was... and now when I was on Peter Pan and the Pirates as Tinkerbell, guess who was one of the Lost Boys? Scotty Menville.
Oh, yeah?
Full circle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen him recently at a couple conventions.
Yeah. I love conventions. Do you do a lot of them?
I do. Yeah, on and off. I mean, not every weekend, but but when I go, there's a lot of nice people.
I just got back from one in New Jersey. I love cons, meeting all the people that know everything I've done because I forgot.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I've had that. Yeah, people come up, do the voice, and I'll do one. I think it is another one. They go, no, and it'll be one that I did, 40 years ago, like my second job, and I go, that's not at the tip of my tongue. You could tell me, and I wouldn't have known. And but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to see, the little ones, their face lights up, and it's kind of fun.
Sometimes they cry. Sometimes they have tattoos of your character.
Yes, they do. They do. And
I signed a Jimmy Neutron the other day.
Unnerving. Yeah.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
Fresh out. Not at the moment.
I think it hurts too much. It scares me.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to get hurt.
And it's for a stupidest reason. I'm very mercurial, and if I got a tattoo next week, I'd be on, what the hell was I thinking? I hate that bear. Oh. Or, I'm just kidding.
We love that bear.
We love that bear. Well, if it was that bear, then,
Jim?
Hey.
What's mercurial mean?
It's like real fast and change your mind and ping pong, like a ping pong ball in a laundry chute.
Bing, bing, ding, 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 ding. I like it. I hate it. I like it. I hate it. I want it. I don't. Get it away. Bring it.
That's her. Me.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm glad you have the same
What other things about me are we going to talk about?
Let's talk.
Let's stay on the Peter Pan show. I think it's very pivotal that not necessarily a very popular show these days, but you gave Tinkerbell her voice, which is pretty iconic.
I was Tinkerbell's first voice, and they wanted her to be, well, for lack of a better word, a little bitchy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She did not like Peter talking to anybody else.
Well, I remember she used to be a sound effect, I want to say xylophone.
Some kind of ding-ding.
Ring.
Yeah.
Triangle.
A little chime or something.
It could have been.
Right, so I got to be her first voice. And I didn't really follow the Rocky Horror Picture Show or the whole, fame of the Tim Curry.
Tinkerbell wasn't in that.
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
And so when they said Tim Curry's being Captain Hook, I was like, who's that? And it was great to work with him because he was pretty funny. I remember once remember Buzzy's?
Oh, sure.
Where we recorded at Buzzy's. And
recording studio, by the way, here
on Melrose. And Tim was sitting there Jimmy, Tom, Timmy, Tom. Anyway.
Good old, what's his name?
Good old Tim was sitting in the waiting room and he said, get me a coffee. There's a love. Tim talked to me. He asked me to get him coffee. There's a love. And I did.
There's a love.
There's a love. I can't do it as good as
Did he know you were a co-star at the time?
Yeah. Well, he was sitting. I was standing. I like to serve, by the way. I love to serve people. I love to cook. If I come to your house, I'll be happy to cook and serve you. I like to serve.
Wow.
I like to help.
Well, that's an admirable trait.
I don't have any control over it.
I
just
to be
like
helped.
to do it.
Well, there you go.
I was born to be a very attentive partner and daughter.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm biting
That
my
show
tongue.
also had Jason Marsden on it, I believe.
Yes,
right?
Jason Marsden was on it. Yeah,
on
I
your
just
show?
saw him. Yeah, he's in Nashville now, I think.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he played Peter Pan. Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah, and until last year,
I could see that.
I thought, who's James Marsden? Jason Marsden? I got them mixed up. They're not related, right? At all.
No, I don't think so.
No, just this Marsden part.
But you're all the same height.
Yes.
Sorta.
As a matter of fact, we are. I think he's an inch taller. I think he might have made it to 5 feet. I did not.
Could be.
I did not.
Well, you're not missing anything.
Well, when I am
From way
at a
up here
con,
on these lofty heights.
when I go to a convention or New York, I just have to wear a mask. Otherwise, it's boobs and armpits. That's all I see. I'm right there at that level, and every time someone coughs, sneezes, or talks, all the spit germs just come right down to my level.
Oh, see.
And so it's very scary being in a packed room at my height. You guys have to experience it sometime. I
Boobs
challenge
and
you.
armpits. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
1 out of 2?
Or something you get.
Something like
Thank
that.
you for getting that.
Oh, 2 out of 3. I get it.
Yeah,
Bada bing.
ba-da-bum.
Very good.
Notice the guys started laughing right away.
Way before me.
Yeah. And I remember years ago, you don't have to do it now. In fact, she knows what I'm going to say.
I do.
They
were so new and so pretty.
They were so pretty and
Yeah.
and fresh and
Yeah.
perky. And
After I was done breastfeeding my son.
And she walked in and Rob Paulson and I were the 2 lucky men that were in the room. We're waiting there and. Oh, how are you doing there, Debbie? How you feeling? You were sick the other day? No. I was at the doctor's. And I go, well, I'm sorry to hear that. She goes, no. I wasn't sorry to hear that. And I go, well, nobody wants to hear that you were sick. She goes, oh, I wasn't sick. See? And I went, you look fine.
I got new boobs.
Yeah. And I was like, and Rob and I are going, no, you're not sick at all. You look fabulous, as a matter of fact.
I knew you boys were married, and
the 2 of you,
you were safe.
The 3 of you look good, and see, I'm good at math.
Yeah, I just had
Math is
no
good.
filters. Still don't have any filters. You don't get to see them today, but yeah,
Sorry.
I showed a lot of people those girls.
Now I know why when you said 32B, Jim goes, well, I would know. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, the stories, the intimacy that happens in our closed little studio, the things the engineers see and hear that they never,
that's so true,
never
isn't
say. You ought to interview engineers. They're the ones with the stories, right?
They're the ones with the dirt.
Yeah, they have got the dirt, and they have the dirt to hire and fire and keep you working or not. Yeah, always be good to your engineers. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I think he's producing.
Sorry. But you're kind of engineering. You touched my mic.
I did.
So that qualifies as engineering.
You hear how
to
he
me.
said that? I did. He can't turn it off. It's just how it
Are you a voice artist, Chris?
No,
Just a producer.
just a producer.
Producer.
I do some acting.
Just a
I act.
producer.
Yes.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
So, you got to wear all the hats.
I've never booked any voice work though yet.
Okay, well, look you're here with us now.
I know.
Here, try this,
exciting.
okay? Want to try that?
What'd you say?
Nothing. I said I don't like that apple that you put on my high chair.
I don't like that apple. I don't like that apple. That's as high as I could go.
That's pretty high.
Well, that's pretty good. I think that was good.
I don't like that apple that you put on my chair.
And now make it unintelligible. Pretty good.
That's pretty good. And there's a plate glass window that just broke out front. So that's how you know it was good.
You know, speaking of babies, on that show, F is for Family, by 4th season, Laura Dern has a kid, and then the neighbor has a kid, and they needed baby voices. And I ended up doing like 5 different infants on that show as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Good fun. You do a good baby cry, though, if I remember right.
Yeah. Well, and I do the trick that Sue Blue does.
Chuck McCann taught me mine.
Oh, the one about what you get a handkerchief. And you
Chuck
ball
will
it
give
up,
me the elbow one.
Or that one, yeah. Yeah. She's much better. Did you just cuss out poor Brendan?
I did. It's a skill, though.
Did you get to work in the studio with Bill Burr?
Yes.
What's he
yes,
like?
we did.
It's like
you
my
know,
favorite
that's
comedian.
what people say when they ask me what Howie Mandel's like. Because when they're on, they're on. And when they're not on, they're just quiet family men. Really, you're just a nice guy. Just a nice, quiet guy.
He's not angry?
No.
Seems like he'd be angry all the time.
Well, that's the on, isn't it?
That's the on.
Yeah. No, Bill's not angry. He's a good man. Yeah, we like him very much. And his wife and his kids.
What was Mike Price like as director? I had him on my Simpsons podcast recently because he obviously works for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
What was he like directing for that show?
Okay, he has the word retrieval skills of like a Harvard professor. I don't know how these directors are able to just grab words out of the sky and make it so accurate that I knew exactly what he wanted. He's wonderful. I love that man. Mike Price, if you're watching this, you are the bomb. Yeah, he's very funny. And he finds things funny. And he's very jolly. You know, if he finds it funny, he will laugh. And if you can make Mike Price laugh, doesn't it make you happy when you make your directors laugh?
Yes. Yeah. If you make them ruin a take, it's it's good.
That is not your fault.
Yeah, then it's not your fault also.
No, Mike Price he's really amazing, right? I mean, his credits, the number of Emmys he's won, he's just so clever.
And he was on what show?
He's one of the producers of The Simpsons.
Simpsons.
Yeah, and F is for Family. He
I've
and
heard
Bill
of them.
Burr made F is for Family. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever done a Simpson?
No.
Me neither. Well,
No.
except for
So,
one.
Scott, I'm talking to you, Mr. Scott Muller. Yes.
Dum-dum-bum.
And Mike Price, I would very much like to be on The Simpsons. I can cry like a baby. You know, I don't have to sound like Lisa. So I'm ready. It's
That's
been
right.
30 years. I remember when they were auditioning for The Simpsons down at the
do.
Fox lot.
Yes.
I went down there and I auditioned my head off. I really thought that would be a fun thing to do. But Nancy got it. Good for her. You know, love our Nancy. Love our Yardley.
yeah.
I didn't really know who Yardley was at the time, honestly. But it's been 35 seasons for them, and I want on that show. I think that would be a good bucket list checker offer for me. I know Charlie Reagan's one of the animators. He won an Emmy for making Krusty Town.
They all watch this podcast, so.
Good. Then if you're watching it, me and Jimmy want to be on The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
that's right. Yeah, I was.
I've been on The Simpsons.
You've been on The Simpsons?
Oh, they drew me on The Simpsons because of my podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We're
didn't know
both
that either.
real
That's
jealous
really cool.
about that.
They had 2 Aussie super fans, and because of our podcast, they drew us into it.
That is amazing. Congratulations on
There
that.
you go.
Did you get to voice it?
No, but the showrunner just messaged me one day and he goes, "You might want to watch this week's show." And I went, "Why?" And he goes, "Just watch it." And that's why.
I totally want to see that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I played a horse. You got to be yourself.
You got to be a horse on The Simpsons?
I was a horse.
Let me hear your horse.
Hi, I'm a horse.
That's good. That's really good. Oh, So Blue told me how to do the horse.
Oh yeah.
Here's just the cheek thing. Yeah. Kind of gives you a headache.
You were
after
getting
a
a
while.
little ducky.
I was getting a little ducky. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the ducky. That's ducky.
Yeah.
Can you bark like a pug?
No.
It's like Daniel Ross was telling me how to bark like a pug. He was saying you put the Donald Duck, the duck cheek, and then do the bark with a muffle kind of sound. See if that gives you the pug bark.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I can't even do a good, decent Donald Duck.
Can you do a cricket like D?
No.
Boy, can Dee do
but my
crickets,
best
huh?
buddy,
D. Bradley Baker?
Yeah.
Kenny Papagan does an amazing,
Does he?
unbelievable cricket.
God, that's a tough one. You
I
have to have your mouth
wish.
do a certain thing.
I used to dream of being able to do a cricket. I thought it would be the funniest thing to do.
That's not bad.
That's actually, yeah, you can hear the high pitch. I think the pitch is the hardest thing
No,
to do.
I haven't a clue. I have cricket cluelessness.
Yeah, I had it for a second.
You did.
If I had my regular forked tongue.
I can cry like a baby.
Well, we've descended into the nether world
The
of
show's evolved to it. It's just
show
sounds.
business.
Good thing they can see our faces. They'll be like, is that just fuzz on the radio? What is that?
Yes.
What's your favorite baby sound, Debbie? Is it angry baby, sad baby, happy baby?
Oh, gosh.
Hey, you
Well,
want to
happy-
change my diaper?
That one.
That's
Happy baby is a lot less abrasive. I can be closer to the mic for the. I like it all. All the baby sounds are good. It's very messy being a baby because it requires a lot of like liquid. And I don't want to dirty up your microphone here, but they usually have to give it a pretty good cleaning.
It's all
when
right.
I'm done with the.
They come in and clean afterwards anyway.
well, not a
gets
baby
wet.
duck. No, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I didn't put the wet in it, so I didn't spittle all over your mic. I was very considerate. You're welcome.
Yes,
I like it all, People are like, what's your favorite character? I like it all.
Did you speak to River as a baby back and forth when he was still younger?
I did. Well, I studied him. I take infants and put them on my lap and I listen to them and I pitch match and I pace match. It's like learning a song, really. So...
Your voice sounds so similar to E.G. Daily to me.
Does it?
I see. I hear like
E.G. has a little more texture in hers.
Yeah, she got a little more
Yeah.
She's
crackle.
down here a little bit more.
That's
She's
like
got a little more sand.
Yeah, a little more texture, sand, gravel.
yeah.
But I don't really have the gravel unless I'm doing the old lady. I figured out how to finally do gravel as an old lady without it hurting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can get her right there, and then you make your teeth funny. Oops, sorry, I need my Depends. Oh,
That's great.
Thanks
That's
so
great.
much.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
have
can
known
finally
that
get
was
there.
you. If I looked away, I wouldn't have known because we always think we know each other. Oh, that's Cummings doing a goat. Or
That's Cummings' goat.
yeah, it's good. But wow, that was. Ooh,
I have a question for both of you.
great.
It's been on my mind for some time now, and I always wonder, as a voice actor, and you guys are both musicians as well, when you hear yourself, like just normally, like people have a reaction to hearing their normal voice because it's not really what we hear like in our head. But I'm curious because you guys can sound like so many different people. Like, do you think you have a better, like, I guess, assessment of what your own voice sounds like coming out of your mouth?
I think we do.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, when we
we're
listen
also
back to
harsh.
ourselves, we don't go, oh, is that what I sound like?
Yeah,
You're like, I know exactly
I
what
started
sound
off that
like.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, but I got over it maybe in 8th, 10th grade or
Did
something.
you have a cassette
but,
player and you
uh-huh.
could play yourself back
Yeah,
and listen?
and
do
whenever
little
I had
radio
a chance,
shows?
because I was always in bands back then, and somebody would, record it on their press the two, our gigs.
Yeah, you have
or
to
our
press
songs.
play and record at the same time.
At the same time to
record.
get there.
You don't know that.
And the little cassette recorders, and then I'd listen back to it, and I'd say, okay. Ooh, wow, that was sucked. That was not. Well, that wasn't bad. And then you just trim, and then that's how I did it. To
Yeah.
try and make myself acceptable to myself.
Yeah, I just always sounded the same. I guess when I first heard myself, I'm like, something's wrong. It's a chipmunky. What's going on? Something's wrong with the recording. But I
Did you
think
speed this up? Right?
You have to embrace your pigeonhole. That's what I call it. You have to love who you are. The mic likes my voice. It likes your voice.
Yeah.
And we just have to kind of honor that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do sing grown-up music. I have a band, Honey Pig, a country
you do.
band. And it's 3-part harmony. And I write a lot of songs. And
Now,
we
I've heard
perform.
you guys many a song you have sung.
Yes, but I also sing kids' music,
Mm-hmm.
which I love singing kids' music. And I just finished my 4th kids' album and just released this
Whoa.
great single with Lisa Loeb.
Wow.
if you go to Debi Derryberry Kids, all the that's all the animated videos of all my kids' songs from the last album and some of the other songs. So there's quite a few animated videos up there for kids, and I'm hoping that that Debi Derryberry Kids will get funneled into the magic that is YouTube Kids. One day I'll get into YouTube Kids. That's the goal. But I'm still doing
Let's
kids
get to
music.
work on that out there, folks.
Yep.
YouTube Kids, Debi Derryberry.
Yep. Watch Debi Derryberry Kids. It's not on YouTube Kids yet, but it will be.
It will be.
Yeah. So if you could just put your computer on YouTube Kids and just put it on repeat for days.
And then go on vacation.
Yeah.
Come back.
And then
Leave it
put
on.
And just leave it on.
Yeah.
And do we get introduced to your fabulous guitar? She has the coolest guitar.
Oh, I think my pink guitar is on a couple of the videos.
I bet.
It's on,
It should be. It's gorgeous.
I'm a great recycler, I think. You can see my beautiful pink J.J. Hart guitar. It's a nice
pretty
one.
cool. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
But I play my Olsen for Honey Pig. We like the Olsen. That's a heck of a guitar. Yeah.
No relation to the twins, so don't be alarmed.
No. My book, though, you wanted
Why,
to
look.
talk about? Look.
Here it is now.
Well, this is I just re-updated it so it has this line. This is the author's copy, but that's the second edition of my book.
Here we go.
Voiceover 101: How to Succeed as a Voice Actor by Debi Derryberry, second edition.
You'll feel the difference.
And actually, I don't know if you've ever recorded an audiobook,
Very
but
awesome.
it is tough. And I read this whole thing. I did the audiobook of this whole thing, and it's just been released last week on Audible. So you can go to ACX Audible, buy your copy of Voiceover 101, How to Succeed as a Voice Actor. And in here, you know how it's hard to describe with words how to bark like a dog, how to vomit. So I have these
that's
little
true.
QR codes in the book that takes you to little videos where I'm showing you how to vomit.
You
And
can't
bark like
beat
a
that.
dog. Right? It's
You
worth its weight
cannot-
in gold.
Are you kidding? I mean, how many times have I been over at the mic going, how the heck do I vomit? If only Debbie were here. Well, now she can be. Did we show you this book yet? I don't know if we did. Look, if not, by God, now you know.
Don't people ask you, Jim, how can I get started in voiceover?
Yes.
Now you don't have to answer anything more than
Did we mention the book?
go buy the book.
Go buy. There's not an app for that, or is there?
Not yet, but there's an audio book. You can listen to it as you drive
and
far
edible.
away.
Edible?
I think it's Audible.
Audible.
I don't know. You could eat it if you like paper.
No, I was thinking of something else.
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
yeah.
Maybe later.
Have we said what that book is called?
It's called Voiceover 101: How to Succeed as a Voice Actor by Debi Derryberry.
Yes.
Best promotion you've ever had.
Thank you.
And you know, a long time ago, our dear buddy Gordon Hunt
Aw,
from Hanna-Barbera, we've
Yes.
spoken of him before. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
He wrote a book called How to Break into Show Business.
Mm-hmm.
And after I was already working for about 5 years and had worked for him any number of times, somebody said, blah, blah, blah. Oh, is that from your book, Gordon? And they were making a joke. And I go, what book was that? And said, well, I wrote a book of how to say in show business. Blah,
that's what
blah,
he
yeah.
sounds like.
And I said, oh, okay. So I went down to Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
And I picked it up. And the 5th chapter, and it's everything. It's like, I mean, how to go to a circus, how to audition for this, or a play, or how to stage a play, how to do, all the stuff. And the fifth chapter was how to break into voiceover.
Really?
And did you ever read this?
No.
It's pretty famous, and it says,
I need to read that.
don't bother. The entire voiceover market is locked up by less than 10 people, and they all live in Hollywood, California, where you don't. Wow. And if you show up, you're not going to get in because did I mention there's 10 people that do this crap, and you're not one of them, and enjoy your day. Go to chapter 6.
Back then, Jim, he was right.
Probably.
He was right back then. It's changed now.
I'm glad he was wrong at the
There's a lot of people in
right in the
voiceover
nick
now.
of time. He was wrong because I didn't know it was impossible.
Well,
to
you
break
were one
into.
of the 10, Jim.
Yeah. that could be. I suppose.
You were one of the 10.
I don't think I was.
I was
don't
thinking
think I
about
was.
this on the drive over today, and it's interesting, like how you said, everything's changed, and And I don't even think, like, I'm just trying to think of popular cartoons now, and just popular cartoons are just so different than they were in the 90s and 2000s. And like the whole landscape. And we were having this conversation the other day. We were talking about how sitcoms have kind of just disappeared. Like, what's a popular sitcom right now?
Yeah.
Well, Modern
Like
Family.
the last one I can
changed
think of is like
things
Modern
dramatically.
Family.
Arrested Development. You get your. It's more reality based sort of sitcoms now, where they're talking to the camera all the time. It's not in front of a live studio audience. That just doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist. And I think it kind of went the like Saturday morning cartoons kind
this
of
is
like
why
followed the same
When
fate.
you're on the airplane, everybody watches Friends.
Yeah,
Because
and
that was one of the ones, right?
And what I was thinking about
Big
on
Bang,
the drive
maybe.
over here this morning was it's kind of interesting how, we've talked about how you guys don't record, shows in a studio all together anymore. But then, like, I'm thinking about, coming to work for this podcast. And it's kind of interesting how now we're back into a different studio, a group of people. And then these characters kind of survive through different mediums. Now you hear popular character voices that you guys have done on podcasts and at conventions. And it's like they're permeating through different mediums. And I don't know. I was just thinking about it. And it's interesting how it's evolved, but the characters have evolved with the different mediums.
Well, they say that things take a swing on the pendulum, sometimes too far, and sometimes they come back. So I wonder if maybe it would come back. I mean, if some producer said, I want to do it like it used to be done. I want to have everyone in the studio together. I want some really great writers. I really want an 11-minute segment and a second 11-minute segment.
We call that a half an hour.
We call that a half an hour, yeah, with room for commercials. Yes, which we don't have to have anymore. But we want them.
But
we like our sponsors on this
really
show.
good sponsors. That's right.
Yes, we will take good sponsors.
I think anime has really moved into the forefront of popular culture too. 'Cause
Yes.
have you've done some anime dubbing, correct?
I have.
Yes.
I've done some I can't talk about yet. I have a new one on Netflix that just came out called Rising Impact, and I play you guessed it, a 10-year-old boy
No way, Jose.
who golfs.
Can you swing it, though? I didn't meant the golf. That was
Good one.
terrible.
No, it's a pretty little,
Ba-dum-bum.
cute little show. And there's, way back as far as Tenchi Muyo and Ryo Oki and Zatch Bell and Glitter Force with Candy and Maya. I've done my fair share of anime. And Sailor Moon, I just finished these 3
wow.
Moon movies
I've heard of that
Sailor
one.
Moon. Yep.
That's a big one.
I play the cat, like I did in Curious George. And I play a lot of...
What's the cat's name again? The cat.
in what?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Diana, the daughter of Artemis and Luna.
It has like the little moon on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good friends with anime. I do a lot of it, and it's a different, what's the right word I'm looking for?
Approach.
It's a different, business model.
Technique or
A business model as an actor. Because as an actor, we go into a Screen Actors Guild contract, cartoon studio, and we get paid and we get residuals, and that's one thing. Anime, you don't get that. It pays not very much, but when you go to conventions, the fans are huge. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's sort of
I've often
its
said
own,
those are the residuals
that's the
that
back end.
anime
Yeah.
types get.
Yeah. But there are a lot of fans for anime. I haven't really watched a lot of it. Have you?
No, I haven't. And I've been in very little.
What do you go to watch when you watch TV? What do you watch?
Oh, gosh. Nowadays, we tend to binge watch on certain shows
Yeah,
that
me
are
too.
out there,
I like binge watching. It's very satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait.
And you can wait or not.
Because
And
they make you wait a week, you forget.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. My wife and I have changed our viewing habits because we found certain shows. We started watching House.
Okay.
Right? We'd never seen House. That's not a show you can binge because it's a lot of quips, and it can be overbearing. But we now watch a different show every night of the week. So Monday night is House night, Tuesday night is this, and we actually enjoy them more.
Interesting.
Because that's how they were designed to be viewed. They weren't created to be binged. They were created for once a week viewing.
Do you have to write it down? How can you remember?
No, we just know it. It's Tuesday night, it's this though. We just remember. Tuesday night, X-Files night.
That's a very interesting way of approaching it. I don't know if we'll try it,
X-Files
but I'll
night, huh?
consider it.
Binging wasn't a thing in 2002.
Yeah.
No, huh? Yeah,
Unless you
binging
had the
was-
whole VCR set.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the box set.
Yeah. The whole thing, you should put one disc in after another or tape in after another.
Mm-hmm. My mom would record all my original Winnie the Pooh things, and then she'd say, well, I sat down and I watched 7 of them the other day, hon, because I knew you and Jens were coming. And I said, well, that's good. You were boning up on the episodes. Yeah.
So that she'd be ready.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's good because, that's all I do is sit around and talk about Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
You don't talk about Mama Cummings anywhere near enough, Jim.
I don't think I've ever heard about her except right now.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Where did she live?
Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, that's where we're all from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great, great town. Great place to be from.
Did you ever blow up a car?
Very rarely.
Okay.
Not as much as you'd think. You'd think, that was, by the way, she's asking this for a very good reason. There is such a thing, and I have to get Eddie O'Neill and Boom Boom on the show one of these days. Some other guys from Youngstown. But anyway, there was a thing called a Youngstown tune-up. Why? What was that, Jim? Thanks for asking. It's when you are dissatisfied with someone.
Okay.
And what you want to do is just go ahead and get you a nice long copper wire, and you wrap that first part around the little red post on the battery.
The thingamajigger.
Just drop it down inside the car. Don't want anybody to see it. Mm-hmm. That's called a warning signal. Then snake it up right behind the back tire. Open up the
fender end.
The gas,
the
gas cap,
here? Yeah.
And you go ahead and wrap one of your favorite Delco spark plug around there. Drop it down inside. Now, don't anybody ever do this in the history of the world because
you're giving a how-to video on how to blow up cars.
Ask me what happens when you start the car.
What happens when you start the car, Mr. Cummings?
It goes boom.
It goes boom.
It goes boom.
I knew that. I like the story.
And the person you didn't like, he goes boom too.
Boom, boom. Bye-bye.
So, yeah, now see, with Debbie here, I can tell that story, and she makes it sound nice and G-rated. But that's called a Youngstown tune-up. I can't believe I just copped to that on...
You didn't. It was just a story.
On national
you
TV.
You heard
I mean, it's not like I did it much. I never did that. No.
There's a whole other side to Jimmy that you think you know.
No.
Maybe not.
No, I was selling...
No, you were selling pots and pans.
Pots and pans.
Yes.
It's coming back to me now.
So Jimmy Neutron, that's got to be your most popular character at the conventions when you go.
Gotta be way up there.
It is. I'm going to get pretty here for a minute.
Yes.
I'll tell you. It used to just be Jimmy Neutron was the very most popular.
Yeah.
But Draculaura is right on there with him.
That's right. Right.
But we'll talk about Jimmy Neutron because that's been the thing. Like my whole life, you hope for a show that they know you for, like
signature.
your Winnie the Pooh,
Sure.
the signature. And that was Jimmy Neutron. And
can we hear some?
oh, sure, it's Jimmy Neutron, and I'm going to be with Carl Weezer and my friend, what's his name, Sheen, and we're going to head over to the candy bar in my hovercraft. Okay, puking Pluto, got her. Did you just poop bolts? Okay, got a blast.
Yeah. He's my favorite of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, he's
he
so
really
much fun to do.
Because he's so rough and ready. He's ready to go. You know what I mean? It's got that cute little kid atmosphere that everybody just loves.
Well, he's my little boy sans texture. Because everybody else who auditioned for him could do their textured voice with their gravel. Yeah. And I don't have that. So when I auditioned, I was like, well, I'll do sort of the sideways voice thing out of the side. And it ended up, and if you listen to women and 12-year-old boys or 11-year-olds, they sound the same. It's really just the character that you embody.
Yeah, it was the worst thing when my voice was changing as a kid.
It?
And I'd answer the phone and I go, hello? And they go, hi, Sal, how you doing? How you doing? I go, I'm not Sal. I'm not my mom. I'm Jimmy.
Yeah.
Can't you tell by my manly voice?
Exactly.
But boy, that was painful.
I don't ever remember having a high voice. My voice was deep when I was like really
you were born
young.
with a deep voice?
I remember what it felt like to scream. That was like one weird thing Because like as a kid, as a young boy, you can scream like a girl.
Yeah.
But then one day that just goes away. And like you remember the feeling in your throat. And it's a weird thing to just not be able to do anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I used to be able to like blood curdling, high pitched scream. And then one day it's just not existing
so
anymore.
crazy.
Well, at least you don't have to do that much.
Right.
Well, luckily they gave Jimmy Neutron to a female who could sustain the voice for, it's been 23 years now, because I was pregnant when I got him. But you know, people ask you, was I excited to book such a great role? But we book things all the time, and we don't know if they're going to launch, if they're going to become cult classics. You don't know.
Because there was no previous.
No, he was Johnny Quasar, and they were doing a 10-minute interstitial. It came to me, they said, here's a VHS tape of it.
That rings a bell.
Except for they had a copyright infringement, and they had to move it, made it to
is that what it was?
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
But the animation, it was nothing like nothing I'd ever seen. You know, it was so cool. It was the first CGI cartoon ever. And when it came out on the 10-minute VHS, the VCR, what do you call it? A VHS. I was like, this looks really good. I like it. I hope they do something with it. So they made another 10-minuter and another 10-minuter. And then, ta-da, we get to do a feature. I thought, well, that's fun to do a feature film. Of course, I don't really watch any Star Trek, so I didn't know all the great people that were in the feature with me. But it was super fun to do a feature and then a series and then, you know, one thing after another.
Yeah.
But when you book it, you don't go, I'm the new voice of Mickey Mouse.
Right.
It's not like that.
Right.
It's just another
well, you never know if it's
project.
It hasn't gone anywhere yet
Yeah.
because you haven't done one.
But I think the combination of all the really amazing voice actors, and sometimes you just get a magic chemistry, you know, that just works. And between the John Davis, the producer creator, and between, you know, the cast, Rob and Jeff Garcia, Mark DiCarlo, and Megan Cavanaugh, Carolyn Lawrence, and me, and just there was something about the chemistry and the writers that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful every day for Jimmy Neutron. Sure. That was
Absolutely.
a heck of a thing.
Yeah. I imagine he's popular at cons.
He is. And you know what's very cool? After last year, after 22 years, it happened that Funko made a pop of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, wow. What took him so long?
Hello? I don't know, Funko, but thanks.
But
I'm glad you made one.
Now make another one.
Yeah. we rate ourselves on how many pops there are out there of our cartoon characters.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I might be up to 5.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's all right.
That's
you just never know. I'm hoping that next year I'll have another one to add to it, but we can't talk about a lot of the stuff we do, can we?
Yeah, until it's done and everybody else knows about it.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because they'll know.
So,
yeah.
Jimmy Neutron wanted to ask Pooh a couple things.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, did he now? Okay.
So, excuse me, Pooh Bear, are you there?
Oh, yes.
Hi, it's Jimmy Neutron. I'm sure you don't know me, but I was trying to synthesize a synthetic honey, and I wanted to know what your favorite characteristics of it were so that I could work on it in my lab.
I don't know what sympathetic honey is, but it sounds very tasty.
Well, what's your favorite part about the taste of honey, Pooh?
The part where I taste the honey.
Okay. And do you find it's a problem having it be so sticky? Because I was thinking I could create a honey that wouldn't be sticky, that could just like slide off like oil.
Not sticky, but I like it when only the sticky part is left because, you see, that means I've had it all. So leave the sticky.
Well, all right, Pooh. I'm going to work on it anyway because I don't like to clean up the mess.
Well, I don't blame you, because tigers do not like honey, not like Pooh Bears. It's icky, sticky, gooey stuff. It's only fit for heffalumps and woozles, and the occasional neutroner.
You know, Tigger, I wondered if you would like to have a race with me and my hovercraft.
Tigers don't hover.
Do Tiggers run fast?
No, but they could bounce their little patootskis off. So let's do that. I don't know where the patootski is located, but I'm ready to dance it off or bounce it off.
Yeah. Well, bubble trouble's the way of the future. There you go. You've got your neutron poo.
Yes,
convo.
you do.
Got the convo.
Have we missed anything?
I don't think so.
The last thing is the voice swap.
Oh,
we
yes,
do a little voice swap game. It's similar.
Oh,
but
yes.
So Jim will do like a quote as Pooh, and then you'll do the same quote as Jimmy Neutron, for example, and then switch. Like then you'll do the line as Jimmy Neutron, and then Jim will do another character.
Quote
different.
swapping.
Yeah, quote swapping.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we go with Hondo Ohnaka from Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars?
Okay, yeah.
Hondo Ohnaka. He's my Star Wars connection.
Hondo
So
Naka.
Hondo Ohnaka.
Hondo Ohnaka.
Yeah, that's his name. And he's a bounty hunter, or actually he's a kind of a pirate, but a good guy with a heart of gold. And I remember one time he was in a bar, a very Disney-friendly bar, of course, but I'm trying to get the line here. Oh, yeah. Somebody picked this guy up off the floor. He sprung a leak.
Oh, somebody picked this guy up off the floor. I think he sprung a leak. Carl, did you have an oopsie moment?
Probably. That was my bad Rob. That was my sad Rob Paulson. Okay, now your turn.
The voice of Carl makes me sad. Whenever I hear Rob do it, it's like
Makes you feel sad for him.
it makes you feel sad. It's like
He's
hearing
that pathetic little kid.
it's like hearing like a puppy like cry, like
It's got an apology in it.
Yeah, and you can hear it from
almost
anywhere.
hear it.
You can be in like the convention center and you can hear it when he does.
That's what Philip in F is for Family does. Thank you again, Rob, for that.
Yeah.
And so now we flip flop
Yeah, how about you do a Draculaura?
a Draculaura line. Okay. You look fantastic. I will see you at Monster High, cool friend.
You look fantastic. I will see you at Mount Dracul, friend. Pasta honey.
Very good.
Yeah, well, it was better than like past the hemoglobin.
Past the hemoglobin, pasta.
Or past the plasma.
Yeah,
It's not
okay.
the same. It's just not the same.
Should we do one more? One more?
Okay.
Are you game?
Huh?
Are
What
you game?
character?
Dealer's choice.
The alien.
Oh.
Beady.
Pick me, the claw.
When you would record that voice, would they just take the same like how you just record it and double it a bunch of times, or would it be a bunch of different takes
it was
put
a
together?
loop group. It was
Yeah.
a bunch of us going up to the mic, and John Lasseter's like, "Go do those aliens," and we all hopped up to
boy.
the mic to do them. And when you're looping a show like that or dubbing in the after characters, you never know whose voice they're gonna pick. You just watch the movie afterwards, and you go, they picked me. But
Yeah,
they picked a
yeah.
bunch of us, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was me
get a
and Jess
kick out of doing
Arnell, and I
those,
don't know
yeah.
who else. Mickey had us up there.
Yeah, I haven't done any looping in years.
That was so fun, though.
It was-
Looping
it was
is
fun
really
stuff,
fun.
yeah.
It's a lot of energy. And it's hard because you're sitting on a sofa like
Yeah.
this. It's dark. There's all kinds of snacks and treats. And there's
Mm-hmm.
just this movie playing. And mostly it's the guys screaming. And so we're just sitting on the couch at 4 o'clock. They fed you lunch and you
Yeah.
were asleep.
And Lorraine Newman's over there telling you what to do.
Yeah. And Phil Proctor. Yeah.
Our dear buddy. Very cool.
Dear Lorraine, the best screamer in the business. Oh, were we going to do another?
Yes,
what?
let's do.
Oh, yeah.
I did the claw. I did it. It was your
Okay.
turn.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
Hey.
Give me some claw again.
Okay.
The claw. Pick me.
How about bonkers?
The claw, pick me.
Please, Lucky.
Anyway,
Barker Steve Bobcat, the first Toon'd detective in Toontown. I don't know if you knew that.
Fabulous. I didn't.
well,
I'm
now you
always
do.
learning something new about the amazing Jim Cummings.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Jimmy, thank you for having me on your
Yay.
show. It's been
Debi
so great to
Derryberry.
be here.
It's so nice to have you.
I'm going to put this on my resume. I was on Jimmy Cummings' podcast,
And-
Tuned In.
And I'm gonna put it on my resume.
On your
and
resume.
Christopher will too.
I'll see you guys on IMDb.
That's right.
IMDb. I like it. IMDb. Right. IMDb Pro.
pro. Yeah. Gotta have pro. You gotta see the connections and the star meter.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, I'm up 1,000 since last week. Damn it.
Nice.
You ever been down below 1,000?
I don't know. Probably not. Is
usually-
it good or bad to be?
It's like golf. Lower's better.
Oh. Oh, well, then I'm sure I'm up in the bagrillions.
Yeah. I'm hovering in the 17,000 range.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
That's a pretty good hover. Oh, I do. I know what you're talking about now, I think. Or maybe I don't. But for a while, and somebody else told me this, I was number 6 on the star meter, and it had nothing to do with me. I just so happened to be in a bunch of movies in which I either sang a song or, passed gas or did whatever it was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the highest earners, the highest income. That's a different meter. But yes, when they say this person's worth this much money, and you've never started
they
any
lied,
of them.
by the way, about the money part. Okay, Samuel L. Jackson was number 1. They weren't lying about him. Me is number 7. Pretty big lie. Pretty big lie. Big fat lie. Yeah, I mistake my bank account for Sam Jackson's all the time.
Me too. Yeah.
And then he hits me over the head and tells me to turn around, little funny cartoon man. You're
Go
done.
away.
And that is it. And I think that concludes
it.
this
Thank
morning's
you.
service.
All right.
Yes.
Debi Derryberry,
Thank you so
ladies
much.
and gentlemen, once again, another round of applause. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Jimmy. That was
Yay.
great. We did good. So I would love it if you guys would follow me on my TikTok at Debi Derryberry. I'm going to have them spell it out for you because it's kind of hard to say that name. And my Instagram is at Debi Derryberry. And if you would please follow and like my YouTube channel, Debi Derryberry Kids. Thanks.
Great. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. That was another episode of Tuned In with Jim Cummings. Today we had Debi Derryberry. Thank you so much for joining us. That was a great conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. We're now past 100,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. You honestly are such a big part of this show. It's what keeps us going. We'll have that plaque for you. It's in the mail. We'll give you a nice little look, and we'll put it up in the background so that you're always a part of all these episodes, because you are, and you're what makes the show. Thank you so much to our supporters on Patreon. You guys get bonus content. If you don't know, then you can check us out at Jim Cummings Podcast on Patreon. As always, it's been a great time. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey!
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, my dear.
Very much.